whether you have the most loving parents or you have parents with trauma, something goes wrong. You know,
Mm,
kids make fun of you at school or something happens. You see,
mm,
you're part of a pandemic,
mm,
world events happen, right? Things happen to us inevitably. Like the metaphor I use, where, a water bottle or a glass, it starts to fill up. And
mhm.
if it gets too full, it will start to overflow. So back to the metaphor, the sun and the clouds, as events happen to us, those are the clouds that start to cover up the sun.
Right.
Um, and it gets more difficult if you've had a lot of difficulty. You've grown up, in impoverished, you were put in residential school, or you have parents with complex trauma themselves,
Mm.
or you've had to deal with racism all your life or homophobia or what
Yeah.
have you, right? All of these different things that happen.
Or
We
war.
Yeah, war, you come out
Yeah.
of a war zone, or, there's all these different things that happen to us. Those start to fill up the boxes, if we talk about the boxes of trauma,
Mhm.
or fill up the glass. And if we don't deal with those, and if you don't know how to deal with those, then often what we do is we find distractions. We try and push those aside,
Mm.
avoid them, lock them up the best that we can. But it will start to surface somatically, or it'll
Yeah.
start to seep through with depression or anxiety or anger or somatic illness,
Mm.
different ways. It will show up in time. Sometimes that's when people end up in counseling. They're like, can you help me? I can't overcome my depression, or
Mm.
I'm having a lot of anxiety, or I'm so angry and it's affecting my whole family, or what have you. These things
Mm.
show up. And depending on our communities, will, you know, direct us to how we deal with some of those things. If you grow up in indigenous community, maybe they have elders and they have sweat lodges and they have
Mhm.
ways to help you work through those. Or if your parents don't know how to guide you, you're left to kind of deal with that on your own and try and figure it out, right? Really, we do, I believe, anyways, that we do have basic goodness, that the core of who
Mm.
we are is love and compassion. That is the sun.
Mm.
It's not marred, but sometimes there can be a lot of clouds, and it can be really difficult to connect because we can't see it. There's just so much in between us and
Mm.
what is our true self. And when we can start to dissolve those clouds, which EMDR does, then we get more in connection to true self.
Mm. Love that metaphor because otherwise, the cloud people identify as I am that.
Yes.
I am the distress, or I am the trauma, or I am the depression. They
Yeah.
become the cloud, so to speak, and
Yeah.
you're supporting people and recognizing, no, this is something that's happened, but
Yes.
now the nervous system is reacting to it in the present moment. Hello there, and thank you so much for stopping by this channel. I hope you find this content useful, and if you do, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It will really help me to reach to more people and keep this content going. Here we are journeying together, and let's see where this takes us.